plant-based revolution marches on at Burger King. Joining the Rebel Whopper are the all-new plant-based nuggets and Chicken Royale. Created by the vegetarian butcher in Europe, the new Chicken Royale and nuggets replicate the Moorish taste of the original BK classics, but made completely from plants. Come try the plant-based revolution at Burger King. Full menu at burgerking.ky.
Puritan Cleaners will be closed on Saturday the 16th of March for the funeral of Mr. Cardinal da Costa. Service will be held at the Baptist Church on Pedro Castle Road, Savannah, starting at 1 p.m. Further details can be found on Puritan's Facebook page. We urge customers to bring in items early as Friday would be the last day to pick them up. Puritan Cleaners will resume normal business hours on Monday, March 18th.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
Also brought to you by Rulins. For your important real estate decisions, contact Rulins today at 938-1000 or info@rhulens.com.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. It's a beautiful day on the outside. Today is Thursday, March 14th. If it's your birthday today, you're a Pisces baby. Happy birthday to you. We've got two shows today, two segments. On this segment, we'll take a look at My Home Vet. And on the second segment, after the 8 o'clock news, weather and traffic, we will have our second segment with the RCIPS featuring the women of the RCIPS. But in the meantime, it's My Home Vet, and we have in the studio Alan Gordon. Alan is a veterinary care assistant, marine biologist, and alongside him we have Dr. Bronwyn Orford. She's a veterinary surgeon. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you both?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. You're no stranger to, Alan at least is no stranger to the studio. This is your second time, right, Alan?
Yes, it is. We were in here last year for a little while talking about good things like doggy Pilates and heart guard.
Doggy Pilates. Yeah, we're going to touch on that a little bit today again. But just for listeners who didn't hear you the first time, when did My Home Vet get started?
So we got started in January of 2022. So we've been going for a little over 2 years now. We basically took what was a previous company, had a great idea of being a mobile vet, bringing the vet to your pet. And we just, with one of the members of staff who was there, we basically just took that idea a bit further and made it a much more holistic, confident program where we're trying to bring proper veterinary care into people's homes. So we skip the waiting room, and we're also then able to see the animals in their normal environment. So we get to see more normal behaviors and also how they're interacting with their owners and their families a lot better.
And you enjoy that, right?
Oh, yeah, it's great because rather than being stuck inside, seeing the same four walls every day, we're out on the road, visiting people, getting to know people a lot better, and also being in much more engaging environments than a...
So basically 2 years of doing this, you must have made a lot of friends. Not two-legged friends, but four-legged friends.
And two-legged friends.
Two-legged friends.
Well, one of the common misconceptions about the veterinary industry is that it is just about animals. The reality is that you've got to have a lot of people skills, and you've got to be able to empathise with the owners as well as the animals. Because if you don't achieve that, you're never going to be able to have a good relationship with the owners, and then see compliance on the medical side of things.
And related to that, I think it's very important that people generally know their animals better than anybody else. So if you can actually get a good history, you can see the animal, but you can see the animal interacting with their people, it makes a big difference.
So what are some of the core services that you offer at My Home Vet?
Well, one of the most common things we do is the annual exam. So once a year, if there's been nothing wrong with your doggy or your kitty or even your rabbit, we'll come and give them an exam, check their weight, update their vaccines, give them a dewormer, and just check their general health and how they're progressing. As dogs and cats get older, so around 7 years old, they're considered senior at that point. We need to start looking at their elderly care kind of thing, looking at how their joints are going, how their movement is coming on, and checking their blood work to see how their internal organs are going. Like make sure that their liver and their kidney functions are on point. And if they're not, we can then address that issue and with diets or supplements.
Okay. And Dr. Bronwyn, you're a surgeon, so this is something you would do do you have a clinic set up for these services?
So as a veterinary surgeon, that would be the title for kind of what we do as veterinarians. It includes everything. So it's the surgery side of it obviously is not as much in this role compared to when you're in a clinic environment. So if we generally we'll identify if an animal does need surgery, and then we would refer them into a facility where they can have it done in a proper facility with kind of good sterile conditions and things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alan, let's take you going to a home. How does this work? Say I have a doggy that's not feeling well. What do? You come over to my house. My doggy is in maybe a room or somewhere. How does this work? You make friends, work your way into his little heart, and then take care of him. Tell me about it.
Well, yeah. So one of the first things that's important is if we've never met the animal before, to get off on a good footing with them. If we just walk into your home and dog's kind of doing his normal thing, he's going to get a little bit defensive usually. So what we encourage our clients to do is when we knock on the door, to pop the dog on the leash, or prior to our appointment time, if it's a cat, make sure they're in a nice small space like a bathroom. That way we're not having to stress the cat out by running around the house trying to corner it and cat tricks. That's
Right.
never going to befriend you to a cat. And a dog is going to be a lot more calm and controlled if they're kept under control by their best friend. So on arrival, we like it to be a nice controlled situation whilst we get our equipment set up or get our medicines out and ourselves all sorted, and basically set up our mobile examination room, to speak. And once that's happened, we'll ingratiate ourselves with the animal. And if it's a sort of animal that does better by being, ignored by strangers on first meet, because a few dogs with anxiety prefer not for us to be like in their face being like all coochie coochie coo, hello little doggy. No, some people don't like
that's
that.
What I want to hear from you.
Some dogs do.
So we take it nice and gently, maybe involve some treats to try and make them our friends. But most of it is the initial
bribery.
How else do you make friends with your grandchildren?
Right. Got a point there.
So we then take the opportunity to get a good history from the owner and understand what issues they've been having, what the complaint was as to calling us in the first place. So if it was an illness, we want to get as much information about what they've observed about their animal in that time and what they've tried to do in the meantime about that before we've arrived. Whereas if it's a routine visit, so one of those annual checkups I was talking about, we're going to be looking at like more of a longer history. So how they've been doing over the last year, any unusual incidents, any behavioral changes over that period, before moving on to actually meeting the animal and examining the animal in that instance.
Do you do vaccinations as well?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Very
Part
important.
of the service?
Yes, very important.
Okay.
So with the dogs especially, the annual leptospirosis vaccination is very important because they can pick that up from just like stagnant water and puddles in your gardens. So it's a very important annual vaccine, and every 3 years roughly for most breeds, we'll do a booster for the larger vaccine, which includes the quite serious parvovirus, which if anyone has experienced it in an animal, it's not a pleasant one, and certain breeds have a predisposition to it, such as Rottweilers. So it's important to keep on top of these vaccinations, just like it is with ourselves as humans. You know, as a human, we shouldn't really let like our tetanus vaccine expire for safety purposes. And it's the same with our animals. The more we can do to prevent disease, the healthier the animal will be and the happier life it will have overall.
Do you do microchipping at home as well? Is that a service you provide?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Microchipping is also very useful and important, but it's part of generally done when they're puppies, so that animals can be tracked and identified with a specific, basically with an owner, that it's their doggy. Yes.
So you've 2 years into My Home Vet. How are you? What's the feedback been like?
It's been really positive. A lot of people on this island are very, very busy. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're a executive on a board somewhere, or you're a top lawyer, or whether you're a school teacher, or even a landscaper. We have such busy lives on this island, and we can't really spend what ends up being sometimes a couple of hours taking your dog to the clinic when you take travel time into account as well. So people from all demographics and all earning areas are enjoying our services because they know that we're going to turn up more or less on time, traffic being forgiving, and they know that they only need to allocate then half an hour or an hour to making sure that their pet is healthy. And the realistic cost difference when you take that between us and a clinic, it's not really that different when you consider the amount of time that you have to allocate yourself to going to a clinic. So it is an affordable approach from both time and a financial point of view. And because of that, we get really positive feedback. The other benefit of our service is we also deliver prescription goods. So take HeartGuard, for example.
You do that as well?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay.
We deliver the HeartGuard to your door, and that way that you don't accidentally lapse on it, because I know what it's like. You realize, oh, that's my last one. I'll go next week to the vet clinic and I'll collect another 6 months supply, and then something happens that week, or you're busy the next week, or your kid gets sick. You know, these things. There's so much pressure on our lives for us to remember to do everything right, and have to go somewhere to do something and queue and be stuck in traffic. It's such a hassle, and we like to take that hassle out of veterinary care and pet care.
Okay, on the island you see a lot of stray animals, cats and dogs. There are a lot of stray cats, but we don't normally see them because they're always in the bush somewhere, or they come out at night. But there are a lot of stray cats, and so a lot of people like myself, they'll end up in my yard, and I take them in. I have 2 right now, but I can't. I try not to be close, like buddy pal, but they're becoming my buddy pal. How do you get them to, say you come to my house, how do you get to take care of them? Just to give them maybe like a checkup.
We do that
work?
fairly often. We do have to take a slightly different approach because obviously they're not used to being handled and they're not used to people.
Right.
So we do have to take on, we really do encourage people to contact us because they still do need vaccinations, especially deworming, things like that, because they're spending more time outside.
Right. I wonder about that.
Yes, very important. So we do encourage people to contact us for those animals too. And the most important thing is to, as Alan said earlier, keep them in a small space. So when we do arrive, we quite practiced with it. We know how to handle them. We're very kind of experienced in that field. We do it fairly often. So, and as long as they're in a small space, we're able to do everything that we need to do. Sometimes we do have to give them a little sedation just to kind of help take away the stress out of the procedure. Depends on the personalities of the cat.
Because these are out there, they're not indoor cats.
Sure.
You know, they're outdoors, and they're now mine. So I would like to take care of them, but I don't know how to I'm figuring someone will come to take care of them, and they'll just run away.
Yeah, it's generally it is a process.
Okay.
It's something that you could generally kind of gain their trust over time. Generally with food.
Treats. Alan's got those treats.
It's live, got no treats on me today.
Guys, I've got to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Roland's Real Estate.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The 17th Annual Bill Rudy Rotary Central Science Fair, Saturday, April 13th. At the Arc Camana Bay. Plan for it. Start your project now. Open to students across all schools in Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman. Homeschool students are welcome. Register now, today, tonight, online, rotarysciencefair.ky. The Rotary Central Science Fair, just around the corner. Saturday, April 13th. Rotary Central, creating hope in the world.
Real estate decisions have a major impact on your life and work. A home may be the biggest purchase you'll ever make. Office space is the second highest cost after staffing. For savvy property decisions, a trusted advisor is vital. Rulin's reputation is built on that trust. Data-driven and fact-focused, Rulin's harnesses 25 years of experience and the latest market intelligence. We analyze every opportunity in the context of our clients' best interest now and in their future. For important real estate decisions, contact me, Sloan Rulin, and my team at 938-1000 or info@rulins.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Cayman Turtle Center is doing it again. Get ready to crawl, walk, or run. Lace up your sneakers and join us as we stride for conservation on March 17th at the 4th Annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk Run, hosted by the Cayman Turtle Center. For just $25, you can be a part of this incredible event with every step you take supporting the conservation efforts for the majestic green sea turtles of the Cayman Islands. Sign up today at turtlecrawl.ky and secure your spot in this unforgettable experience. We extend a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors: Advanced Fire and Plumbing, CG Britke, CUC, Gatorade, DMS Broadcasting, Blue Water Medical Supplies, Yanni's Photography, Double M Distribution, Corporate Electric, Cryo 345, and Radio Cayman. Join us bright and early on Sunday, March 17th at 6:30 a.m. at the Cayman Turtle Center. Register now and don't miss out on the fun.
Business Buzz. Anita Khan.
The time is just flying. Good morning to Silver Fox, holding it down in the next studio. Good morning, Silver Fox. We've got in the studio with me this morning from My Home Vet. They come to your home and take care of your pets. How cool is that? In the studio, we have Alan Gordon. He's a veterinary care assistant / marine biologist. I'm not sure how that fits into this, but he'll probably tell us. And we also have Dr. Bronwyn Orford. She's a veterinary surgeon. How does that fit into My Home Vet, Alan?
Well, we don't really use it very much. It's where my background stems from originally. So I always like to pay a nod to it and remember what my education is. But it sometimes allows us to deal with more tropical fish that people have in their aquariums because they have a little bit more of an understanding about their behaviours, the biology, and basically the water chemistry as well. So every now and again we come across people who have fishy problems, and they're a little bit trickier to solve because you can't exactly hold them and do easy analysis of them. You have to kind of look at chemical features and behaviors. So they're an interesting little thing that we come across every now and again. The more common exotic pet, quote unquote, that we're getting to grips with at the moment is actually rabbits and bunnies.
Oh.
They're becoming a more popular pet on the island, and we're seeing a lot more visits and treatments for them.
Why are they so popular, you think?
It's a hard one to put a finger on for that one. There are multiple reasons. One, they're quite cheap to buy, so it's not like you're having to invest tens of thousands in a designer puppy or looking at different ones down at the Humane Society or at One Dog at a Time, or looking at a stray kitty. You're getting an animal that has been effectively bred to be cute and cuddly and good to be handled by children.
Are they low maintenance, basically?
Relatively low maintenance, but I would say that in general a cat is probably easier to get going with because you need to have a lot more specific environments and enclosures for a rabbit, and you also need to be a little bit more on the pulse with their nutrition as well, because it's not like having a complete cat food or a complete dog food where it's all being calculated for you. You're having to work with straws, grasses, hay, cabbage. Some people like to give them kale and carrots as well. So you have to
and especially on island, it's quite hard to sometimes get some of the diets that rabbits would need longer term. So yeah.
Do you have a lot of rabbit patients?
Increasingly so. We've in the last month we've probably seen more rabbits than we had done in the previous year, and they're becoming a more popular service that we're providing and doing more frequently is neutering of the male bunnies. That helps prevent them literally breeding like rabbits. So that's something we're starting to do a bit more frequently now, and it's proving quite popular to have it done in the home because traveling with a bunny isn't quite as enjoyable as you'd imagine.
True. How can someone get in contact with you?
Really quite simply actually. You can either send us an email at hello@myhomevet.ky, or we're extremely responsive on WhatsApp, where our number is 928-0707. So we're very responsive on that, and it's quite. You just need to pop us a message, and we'll with a question or a request, and we'll get back to you about what's possible with that and when it would be possible. And we can then send you a registration form link. So we have a Google form that you fill out with all the details for where we can find you and the animal, and all the details about the animal.
Okay. That's My Home Vet, 928-0707. Is that correct? Okay. And operating hours, how does that work, seeing you're a home vet? You come at my call? At my beck and call?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it can work like that, but more often than not, we're quite busy with scheduled appointments. Okay. So when someone contacts us, we look at what our availability is for that day in that region. Because being a mobile vet, we can't exactly do one appointment up in, let's say, Conch Point, and then do another one over in Cayman Kai. Right. No, it's not practical. Though we have two teams on the road, we have to work within certain zones each day. So we look at what our appointments are for that day and whether one of our teams will be in that area. If not, it'll end up being a tomorrow or maybe the day after. But we work triage effectively. So we look at how urgent the care is that is required, and if it is very urgent and we can make it work that we can come, we will do everything we can to do so. And if it's less urgent, like a routine treatment or something that they want a referral for surgery, perhaps at one of the clinics, then that's something that can happen in a couple of days' time, where more urgent care takes priority.
I think that's one of the things that really benefits from having good relationships with most of our clients. So if we've booked in kind of routine, annual checkups and things, a lot of people do decide to work from home on that day. So we know their kind of schedules, and we're able to contact them and say, well, instead of coming at this time, would you mind, we've had, this emergency that's come through, would you mind if we came an hour later? And for the most part, people are really happy, because if they were in that situation, they would appreciate that they were considered ahead of an annual vaccine, for example.
Okay. No, I know you do cats, dogs, rabbits, occasional fish,
Some birds.
Birds. Maybe snakes later on.
Hopefully not.
I like snakes, but Dr. Bronwyn and Dr. Andrea aren't huge fans.
How about farm animals? Let's say, some cows and goats and stuff like that. Are those your clients yet? Or?
So we have once looked at a cow, a bull, for a charity case, and it's not really our specialty area.
Okay.
They are these large animals. You need a specific set of skill and experience to handle them and diagnose them with confidence, and that is better off handled by the Department of Agriculture, where they have excellent vets who specialize in these areas, and they also it's a main service that the Department of Agriculture provide. So for cattle, sheep, all the big animals and livestock, that's handled by agriculture.
All right. Well, I know you have your patients to go and see, so we'll let you leave. But my home vet, Alan, any last words for our listeners and, of course, our viewers?
I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my mum over in England.
Oh, happy birthday, Mum.
It's her 21st birthday today.
Oh, right.
How long has she been saying that?
And we'd just like to remind all our clients and all pet owners on the island, please make sure you're giving your Heart Guard every month to your doggies. It's very important, and it will save you money in the long run, and make sure you have a long, happy, healthy relationship with your doggie.
Okay. And Bronwyn?
Just to, first of all, our clients that are listening, and those who aren't yet our clients but soon to become, just really looking forward to meeting you and your pets.
All right. That's Mr. Alan Gordon and Dr. Bronwyn Orford, both from My Home Vet. I just love the name. Just love saying it. It's so easy to remember. My Home Vet. Who else? Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Right here on the Business Buzz. Thank you. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Roland's Real Estate. We're going to take a quick break for the news, weather, traffic, and we'll be back with our CIPS.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Feast without the fuss.
This Easter, make Foster's a part of your cherished traditions with our full Easter spread.
Order your main, sides, and dessert online starting at $94.99. Then pick it up in-store, ready to feed up to 8.
Choose your main from a 12-hour smoked pork, oven-roasted turkey, or maple-glazed ham.
Or indulge your guests with our extra special herb-roasted leg of lamb feast for $119.
Order your Easter holiday dinner online today at fosters.ky.
Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
Members of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service's Senior Command Team met with a team from the American military during a brief visit to the Cayman Islands on Wednesday. The troop was here as part of a joint task force named Bravo. They overnighted en route to Guantanamo Bay, where they are pre-positioned, ready to provide humanitarian assistance to Haiti. The Public Accounts Committee is heading back to the House of Parliament today, with MPs set to discuss a report of the Auditor General related to financial reporting by government. The PAC will hear from the Deputy Governor, the Financial Secretary, the Accountant General, and the Deputy Director of the Central Procurement Office. It's all set to start at 10 a.m. today, and you can listen to proceedings live on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. The Strategic Reforms Implementation Unit in the Deputy Governor's Office is rolling out its new 2024 professional certification program for civil servants. Radio Command's Jevi Ebanks brings us this report.
To date, civil servants have gained a total of 518 individual certifications, with many employees earning more than one. Now, the unit is inviting applications by Friday, the 22nd of March, from civil servants who wish to gain foundation qualifications in business case development or project management. Since its pilot in 2018, the professional certification program has certified over 240 civil servants in the discipline of project management, business case development, and writing and change management. The focus supports the delivery of the Cayman Islands government strategic plan for a world-class civil service by making a contribution under the area of good governance, leadership, and talent development. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
And you're invited to the National Gallery tonight for the opening of Thatch Roofs and Ironwood Posts, the art and artistry of the Caymanian home. This group exhibition explores the evolution of Cayman's domestic building traditions and encourages conversation around the preservation of these historic structures. To RSVP, you can email events@nationalgallery.org.ky or call 945-8111. Tonight's event starts at 6 p.m. In regional news, the Jamaican government has defended its decision to remove general consumption tax from all raw food, imported or domestic, indicating that it chose the lesser of two evils to avoid trade sanctions. At a post-cabinet press briefing of Jamaica House in St. Andrew this week, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said Jamaica was on the cusp of being blacklisted by the World Trade Organization for its years-long, quote, flouting of international trade rules. Clark said one such rule requires that for any category of goods where value-added tax is applied to one, it must be applied to all regardless of origin. He clarified, quote, so if you have a value-added tax on shoes, you have to have it on all shoes, not just shoes from Westmoreland or shoes from America. He said that the government had the option of either putting GCT on local vegetables or local foodstuffs, but said that in the current economic environment, that was not something it was prepared to do, and it would only make conditions worse. So he says, quote, we've done the next best thing under the circumstances, which is to lift GCT off raw imported food. That makes Jamaica compliant with international obligations. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
With the BBC News, I'm Roisin Hasty. Despite widespread international concern about the safety of civilians in Gaza's overcrowded Rafah city, Israel has announced plans to push ahead with an offensive against Hamas there. The Israeli military plans to move nearly 1.5 million displaced Palestinians in the city to the middle of the Gaza Strip. The Chinese government has criticised a vote in the US Congress that could see TikTok banned in the country. It accused the House of Representatives of using the logic of a bandit. Washington has security concerns about the use of data by TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance. Police in Zimbabwe have arrested a self-proclaimed apostolic prophet who kept over 250 undocumented children on his property, allegedly for use as cheap labour. Police said that Ishmael Chokorongewa led a sect with more than 1,000 members in Harare. Russia has launched overnight drone attacks in several regions of Ukraine. In Kharkiv in the east, the governor said the target was television infrastructure. Ukraine's military says a total of 36 drones were fired and 22 shot down. Russia has refused to comment on a hammer attack in Lithuania on a close aide to the late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Leonid Volkov was assaulted outside his home in Vilnius on Tuesday. Lithuania's president Gitanas Nausėda blamed Russia and said nobody was afraid of President Putin. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Has the circus come to town? No. It's A.L. Thompson's 2-week blowout sale from March 15 through March 30. Get under the huge tent outside A.L. Thompson's to save big. Save up to 75% on lighting, electrical, plumbing, paint, and hardware. Save up to 75% on housewares, building materials, and the ever-popular scratch and dent appliances. Take advantage of this savings while they last. It's March blowout under the tent at A.L. Thompson's, Georgetown.
Can you tell me what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates.
Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Oret Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first. Once again, good morning to you, my friends. Let's take a look at your weather. Compliments of our friends at CG Britcay. The present temperature now 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. Relative humidity about 86%. Barometric pressure is at 29.94 inches. Moderate easterly winds and seas are expected for the next few days in association with a high-pressure system lingering over the Atlantic Ocean. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Looking at later tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're in a low tide. High tide will be at 12:10 this afternoon. That's going to be low at 6:52 this evening. The outlook is for similar weather through Saturday morning. That, my friends, is your latest weather.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, my friends, here's the latest traffic update. Of course, still seeing lots of traffic along the Linford Pearson Crew Road and, of course, going through South Sound as well as Bobby Thompson Way, leading on to Huldah Avenue. slow pace moving traffic as it feeds into the inner streets of Georgetown, which is of course seeing some moderate traffic as well. Out there going through South Sound, Walkers Road, seeing some traffic similar through South Church Street onto Seafarers Way, North Church Street, West Bay Road as well. With one cruise ship in so far, lots of pedestrian movements this morning. Shen Road seeing some light traffic at the moment, similar with Godfrey Nixon Way, Eastern Avenue. And of course the Butterfield roundabout, North Sound Road is experiencing traffic, some traffic coming off the SD Tibbets, not too bad, moving quite fine. And of course northbound traffic towards the Butterfield roundabouts. Heading towards the airport, very light traffic along Roberts Drive, Dorsey Drive, seeing some traffic of course leading out to North Sound Road. And of course heading to the eastern districts, you've got light traffic as you make your way eastward bound. Expect a couple more minutes delays for those of you just getting into the Georgetown area, just getting past Century 21 roundabout and continuing on. Of course, it all eases up later on this morning. We'll have another traffic report for you at 12:10.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets. Ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Government school registration for the 2024-2025 academic year opens online on March 1st. Enrollment is based on a first-come, first-served basis with established priority categories. So please, register your child early to maximize your chances of getting them into a school within your catchment area. To learn more or register your child, please visit schools.edu.ky by June 30th. This message is brought to you by the Department of Education Services.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our second and final segment for today. Good to have you joining us. We appreciate that, and we appreciate the sponsorship of our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 50 years of service to the Cayman Islands, and Ruland's Real Estate. Thanks to Sloan Ruland for sponsoring the program this morning. And in the studio from the RCIPS, we have PC Jodianne Powery. She's a police media officer in the Media and Communications Unit. And we have alongside her Special Inspector Victoria Templeman, head of the Cayman Islands Bureau of Financial Investigations. And this is also within the RCIPS. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Anita. How are you?
Good morning.
Ladies running things today.
Well, it is
Absolutely.
International Women's Month. Yes.
International Women's Day is long gone.
Yes.
But I want to wish you both happy belated International Women's Day.
Well, I wouldn't say long gone. It was only the other day.
It was only last week. Yeah.
It looked
But
like
thank
a
you.
while.
Same to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, big things are happening in the RCIPS, and it's growing. So this morning we're going to put the focus on that, and that's all about the Women in Policing Network, WIPN. Now, you guys are here to share your experiences and insights about the role of women in policing. So let's start this off. Jodianne, just tell us a bit about Women in Policing Network and what it's all about.
So
it's the first time I'm hearing about it.
Really?
So you better let me know real good.
Well, I'm a little upset that it's the first time you're hearing about it because we did launch our Women in Policing Network back in July.
So you were on the buzz
year.
about this before?
Sorry?
You were on the buzz. We talked about this before?
I believe so.
Yes, I was there too.
I believe we did.
You know, as I said, it's like deja vu.
Yeah.
You know?
I believe we did.
Okay.
We launched at the governor's residence. She hosted us for the launch event. And the Women in Policing Network is basically an initiative that was put forth to the British Overseas Territories from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. And its aim and goal is for women within policing to be developed and to have, increased opportunities within policing. Because as you well know, policing is widely considered a male-dominated field. So it's basically an initiative to kind of give us a fair chance of development within the service.
Yeah, I think it's for us, it's all about empowering women, and that can take lots of different forms, really. So that's, as Jodianne says, fostering career advancement, providing those training opportunities that are perhaps particular to female staff and officers, and recognising those areas and developing those skills where that are sort of particular significance to female staff and officers. Male officers and staff and female officers and staff bring completely different strengths, which is wonderful. And we're not talking any weaknesses or anything like that. And it's really just identifying that and where we can add value as a whole to the service. So it's a really, really lovely initiative. And as Jodianne says, we launched last year with the support of the governor, and that was involved a working group committee. So now we're heading into we're going to have our first elections to have our officials, and we're really trying to encourage sort of more junior members of staff to get involved. There'll obviously be the support of that original working group committee to bring them along with the roles and responsibilities. But it's a great opportunity for our maybe junior or less experienced members of staff to get involved in things like policy development that's appropriate for female staff and officers, and looking at those training opportunities which would benefit them should they wish to go for promotion, should they wish to look at leadership opportunities, because that's not always at the top ranks. You can be a leader in any aspect. So we're really excited for that, and to see who's going to put themselves forward and to get the whole election process completed. So that's our next step, really, I think.
So do you have nomination? I mean...
So the process, there will be a nomination process as well as a voting process. Yeah.
How many women do you have in the CIPS?
Currently?
As of today's date?
Well, I don't have today's figure, but I have up until the end of last year, and we had 178 female staff members in the service, and that is out of 485. So we're about 36% female, and in comparison, that's a pretty good figure.
It is pretty high. I think, particularly within the region, and also our sort of closest partners, the US, for instance. I think they have got a campaign going to get themselves up to 30%. At the moment, I think they're only about 20% in most of their forces and services. So we're in good shape in that way. And I have to say that's in some parts also due to our male allies and our male colleagues. The Commissioner is very, very supportive and is extremely keen on attracting female staff and officers, because he sees the value and, as I mentioned before, those strengths that females bring, particularly in community policing, For some reason, communities tend to trust female officers and staff more.
Yes.
There's more integrity apparently, and empathy, and less likelihood of use of force, whether that be necessary or not, and those sort of negotiation skills, those soft skills that both female officers and staff can bring to the party. So. Yeah, we're really excited to see where it goes, and develop the network along with our regional partners as well.
So in the network, Women in Policing Network, you have members. They're called members, right?
Yes.
Women are called members.
Yes.
Now, how many do you have to sign up for this to be in the group?
No, so it's an automatic membership.
Okay.
You can opt out if you want to. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but and I think there's maybe a misconception that it only involves female officers. That's absolutely not the case. It's across the board. Any female staff or officers, and also our male colleagues as well. We like to call them allies, and they're really integral. It's not us against them, or we're trying to give advantages to females. It's really that sort of collective. Let's make the service as good as it can be, with the objective of empowering women to have the confidence to go forward and develop themselves.
Okay. So what was this? Is the WIPN, has this been well received?
I think so.
So far.
I think that we're still in the process of putting the information out there for people to get a better understanding of what it means, what Women in Policing Network means, and how it will support the women within the service and how they'll benefit from that. We're still in those type of stages, but so far the interest in the network has been very well received. And I want to thank Superintendent Wendy Parchment and our DCO, who's spearheaded it since the beginning and the conception of it, as well as our DCO, Ms. Nancy Barnard, who has been a huge advocate for the Women in Policing Network so far and getting that information out there. So one of the things that happen is some of our staff members are selected ever so often to go to Women in Policing Network conferences across the world. One of the very first ones was actually Ms. Parchment and Miss Nancy, and I believe Inspector Denise Anderson as well went to the UK for a Women in Policing Network conference. And one of the things that we aim to do is once somebody has left and gone to a conference, that they would then return and host a feedback session to the group as well, to let them know what they learned and how we as policing in Cayman can benefit from the things that are developing across the world.
Okay. So you just go ahead.
And just in an aspect of how it was received, again, our male colleagues were very, very encouraging, and particularly the Commissioner and the former Commissioner, Mr. Byrne. In fact, one of our members of the working group committee, Inspector Antonio Hanna, just last week won British Overseas Territory Women in Policing Award for his support. And he has been integral in terms of developing the network, giving us that male perspective whilst being supportive of what we're trying to achieve. So it's across the service, it has been really heartening to see that people want this to go ahead and people are willing to contribute and put their time and effort into it. So it's really nice.
So just a little background on that. The FCDO hosted a British Overseas Territories Award session, and that was actually hosted at the Governor's Residence here in the Cayman Islands. Yes, this year.
Last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the things that they did, one of the winners was, as she mentioned, Inspector Antonio Hanna for his partnership. But another winner was actually Sergeant Elizabeth Owen, and she won the Inspirational Woman Award and that reward recognizes the outstanding contribution of one female has made to the British Overseas Territories Women in Policing Network. So we're very proud of them.
Was that? Go ahead, Victoria.
Absolutely. So, and
Sorry.
I think it's important to note that's across all of the British Overseas Territories.
Yes.
To, So to have 2 winners out of I think it was 5 awards, maybe.
Yes.
That really shows.
That's awesome.
6. Yes.
6. Sorry,
Yeah.
6 awards.
Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, that really shows that Cayman are committed to this and are being recognised in the region. The development of their network and how we contribute to our partners as well. So it was really nice evening, and we've got some photos, and it was just
Great
it was
memories.
really well supported. Yeah.
Yes.
So was that part of the International Women Policing Conference? Or was that a different event?
No, that was a separate event, but it was held around the same time, leading up to the International Association of Women in Policing Network
And that was
conference.
That was held here?
Here in the Cayman
Okay,
Islands.
and that's the conference for the Caribbean region.
Right. No, well, it was the Caribbean Region 26 conference, but it hosted members of the BOT from all across the world. So we had people from Gibraltar, we had people from Falkland Islands, and obviously some people from the UK, from Devon
Devon and Cornwall.
Devon and Cornwall Police and the Met.
And City of London, who are our sort of twin police service.
Yes.
So
several places. A lot of Caribbean police officers as well. So we had persons from Trinidad and Tobago. We had Barbados. We definitely had the other BOTs in our region as well. So Bermuda, BVI was here. Turks and Caicos was also here. So, yeah.
What was some of the key
others.
takeaway for that conference?
Well, for me, again, it comes back to this realization that leadership can be at every level. So you don't need to be a commissioner or deputy commissioner. It's great to aspire to these things, and for some people that is their goal and objective. But we had people demonstrating leadership skills right the way through. What I also took away from it was the real importance of self-care and looking after your mental health. I think sometimes as police officers and police staff, we have to put a brave face on it, and we think that we are immune to, because we're protecting the community and we're trying to solve the problems, that we don't sometimes, have a self-reflection, and that's really important, because if you are not at your best, then you can't do your best for everybody else.
If you don't put on your own oxygen mask for us, right?
Exactly.
Before you can help anybody else.
Yeah. So and one of the sort of key messages was people are police and police are people. And I think that's something that we have to remind ourselves of. We are all humans, and we have the vulnerabilities. Just because you put on a uniform or you're protecting the community, it doesn't mean that you are immune to things. So that was a really, really nice thing, and we got some sort of tips and methods. And the other key takeaway from me was the sort of recognition. Well, in the Caribbean region, we have so many strong, confident females who are absolutely willing to bring people up with them. And that was really nice to hear, because I think sometimes there's an element of competition whereby you're striving so hard to get to the top. We need to just sort of take a step back and think, well, what advantages, what mentoring, what experiences do I have that I can pay forward, that I can give to other people. So, yeah, it was a really nice, inclusive, supportive conference. And I think certainly some of our junior officers really learnt from it, and it was great. It was great to see everybody together in a room, just throwing out what their issues had been, how they've overcome them, and how they see the future of policing being in respect of female officers and staff.
Nice. Were you there, Jodianne?
I was there for parts of the event, yes, but obviously I was
a
working in the background.
Conference?
It was
over 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center and Ruland's Real Estate.
Real estate decisions have a major impact on your life and work. A home may be the biggest purchase you'll ever make. Office space is the second highest cost after staffing. For savvy property decisions, a trusted advisor is vital. Ruland's reputation is built on that trust. Data-driven and fact-focused, Ruland's harnesses 25 years of experience and the latest market intelligence. We analyze every opportunity in the context of our clients' best interest now and in their future. For important real estate decisions, contact me, Sloan Ruland, and my team at 938-1000 or info@rulands.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Colon cancer is the third most prevalent form of cancer, and people over 50 are at a greater risk. Colon cancer warning signs you shouldn't ignore are persistent changes in bowel movement, blood in your stool, persistent discomfort in your abdomen, or unexplained weight loss. The good news is when localized in the bowels, it is highly treatable and can be prevented with a colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor today if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. This message is brought to you by the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, serving the people of the Cayman Islands since 1972.
Hey everyone, this is Chad Paul Jr., your 2023 Male CARICOM Youth Ambassador. Do you want the opportunity to help shape the future of youth and sports in the Cayman Islands? All you have to do is complete the National Youth and Sports Survey found at gov.ky/YSP. This is your chance to have a lasting impact on our community. Have your say today, Cayman, at gov.ky/YSP.
On Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, that's this evening, you can hear a repeat broadcast on Radio Cayman from the Radio Cayman CI Retro series on our Cayman Islands Unsung Heroes and Personalities, which focuses on the life of Cardinal da Costa. That's tonight at 7 o'clock.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. We have in the studio from the RCIPS, PC Jodianne Powery. She's a police media officer in the Media and Communications Unit. Alongside her, we have Special Inspector Victoria Templeman, and she's the head of the Cayman Islands Bureau of Financial Investigation. And, of course, both departments within the RCIPS. And we just talked about the International Women in Policing Conference that was held here, for the Caribbean region that was held here. And we're looking at the policing, Women in Policing Network, WIPN. Now, how has the Women in Policing Network impacted your career, Victoria? And, of course, you, Jodianne, you're not going to get away from this.
So in terms of my career, I've been fortunate to be involved in a number of these initiatives in sort of previous roles. So for me, the personal growth, being involved in the Women in Policing Network within the RCIPS is really about being able to have the opportunity to take a more of a sort of mentoring role. So again, that sort of paying forward the experiences and the benefits that I was able to get previously in my career, and hopefully imparting some knowledge and just really giving officers and staff that little bit of confidence that they have got the skills and they've got the wherewithal, and we will support them in their development. Again, if they want to go for promotion, we can tailor development towards that. If they just want to carve out their own little leadership skills and that sort of role, whatever rank that may be or whatever position they may be in, then that's something to me that really goes towards my own personal growth. So that's where I see the Women in Policing Network for me personally really, really benefiting. Hopefully I can benefit other people.
I'm sure you will.
Well, the goal of the RCIPS Women in Policing Network is to enable, inspire, and empower. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something that goes both ways. I think that a senior member of staff can be enabled, inspired, and empowered by a junior member just as much as they can, do the reverse. And so for me, I've had the unique opportunity to have worked in several areas of policing over the years that I've been involved in policing, including my unit now, which is a role that I was the first person to take on. So for me, it's as much as being inspired as well as hoping to inspire people to understand that policing is not just a one-size-fit-all in the box type of career, but it's something that can take you far and wide, and hoping to get that message out to influence not only more women to become police officers, but to inspire the women that are currently here to develop and become more.
Well put, both of you.
Thank you.
Make me want to join the Women in Policing Network.
Yeah, there are jobs and opportunities there. It's great. We can recruit. That's one of our objections, that outreach and recruitment.
Yes, absolutely.
And just to really express that policing, I feel that sometimes, particularly females might think, oh, it's a little bit roughy-tufty and I'm going to have to be a frontline officer. There are just so many diverse opportunities within policing, whether that's as officers, or if it's police staff. Police staff are really the backbone of the service. Without them, it doesn't run. So we need all sorts of skill sets, whether that be HR skills, if that be administrative skills. That's really what makes the frontline officers and the specialist departments able to tick and able to protect the community. So it's really important, I think, to put that out there, that, and even if you start off as police staff, there's always the opportunity, if you decide that you want to go into frontline policing or become a sworn officer, then you can do that as well. So from a career perspective, it's really diverse, and I think sometimes people don't understand that or don't have the confidence to sign up as a officer recruit straight away. We were lucky, actually. This recruit class, I think, had over 50% were female. So
yes.
Hopefully that outreach is working, and we can help them develop their careers in whatever direction that takes. So yeah, it's really heartening.
You're definitely going to see growth in the WIPN.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things that is not very well known is that the RCIPS falls under its own ministry, which is the Office of the Commissioner of Police. And our chief officer is our commissioner as well. And what that means is that our police staff units are our own. So we have our own IT unit, we have our own finance unit, we have our own HR unit, etc. And with that being said, it means that we staff our own as well. Okay. So it's just something for you to consider.
Yeah, and to be proud of too.
Oh, absolutely.
No, you have police. You have the police staff, and then you have your frontliners, right? Is that what you call? What do you say? Frontliners and police staff.
I think when we're referring to police staff, we're referring to our civilian staff members, so our accountants and our HR officers. Yeah.
So do they at some point get some police training?
Okay, so when you are a police staff member, you have the unique opportunity of being very close to our special constabulary unit. Okay. And should you wish to be trained in policing, you can always sign up to be a special constable as well, and volunteer your time to going out on the road and doing policing and learning a little bit more about your community as well as the police service. But it is also an opportunity for you to transition into policing fairly easily, should you choose to do so once you start off as a civilian staff. And quite a few persons, one person that actually comes to mind is Midshipman Erica Rocket McBeam. She is a midshipman with the Cayman Islands Coast Guard who also falls under the Office of the Commissioner of Police. And she started off as one of our receptionists, actually. Yeah. So.
And you do get that natural exposure to policing. So, if you're working in that environment every day, then although you might not do the formal training. You know, you are interacting with our police officers. You know what they need. You know what the impact they have on the communities, and you know that very often inspires people to think, oh well, actually, you know, I can do this, and I could contribute in a different way. And it's really nice when that happens. It's you know, to have that opportunity is really good, isn't it? So.
But Victoria, there are some female senior officers within the RCIPS, and you are a leader within the service, and of course your own right, as you head up the very important portfolio. Tell us a little bit about your role.
So I head up the Cayman Islands Bureau of Financial Investigations, which is a specialist department within the RCIPS. And we were sort of established in March 2020, so we were just sort of coming out of COVID, and the remit was really to deal with complex cross-border economic crimes, so financial crimes. So we're looking at sort of international money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing. So that was really our role. And as we all know, the Cayman Islands is an international financial centre, and with that comes crime, unfortunately. You know,
unfortunately,
the majority of crimes are committed for financial gain. So, my department has a number of specialist financial investigators and specialist financial intelligence analysts. So we really concentrate on those sort of international aspects and the sort of complex crimes. Work hand in hand with our Financial Crimes Investigation Unit, which also sits within the RCIPS. And we work very closely with other competent authorities in the Cayman Islands. Our primary focus was to get off, if you've heard of I'm sure you have, of the FATF grey list. Of course. So we managed to achieve that last year.
You're
so
on for that.
And hopefully we contributed significantly to that. So we work with all of the other agencies. We have a sort of non-operational input into the national remit. So that might be things like policy development, legislation changes. So we're really we're quite a niche little unit, but it's a really fun place to be, and I'm so lucky to be given the opportunity to head it up. So. And again, the Commissioner is very, very supportive, understands from a national security point of view that the Cayman Islands relies on its financial sector, and we need to protect that where we can. So, yeah, it's very interesting work.
You're doing a very good job, I think.
Oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. It's 16 minutes until 9 o'clock. Thanks to Ruland's Real Estate. 25 years of experience in the real estate experience, and you can call Sloan and her team on 938-1000. Thanks also to Cayman Insurance Center, 50 years of serving the Cayman Islands.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
On the final leg of the buzz this morning, and I have to say that, Julianne, this will be my last business buzz with you.
I don't know how. I'm not very happy about this. I think that you should just change your mind and stay.
Yeah.
So this is my last month on the Business Buzz. My last show will be on March 28th, God's willing. So yeah, I got kind of emotional there just now thinking about it.
Oh, well, we'll see each other.
I enjoy your company.
I will make sure that I come and visit you.
Yes, please.
In your office whenever
Upstairs.
I come.
Yes,
I absolutely
please.
will.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Make sure you bring coffee, decaf. I'm
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
Snacks.
Yeah.
Pastry.
Chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
We're celebrating, we're honoring Women's Month in the Cayman Islands. And today we're putting the focus on women in policing, on the Women in Policing Network with RCIPS. Now, it sounds so important, you know.
It is important.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Women in Policing Network. Before, we never had this. It was just the few women who served in the RCIPS. So, we've come a long way, baby.
Yeah,
you know?
we have. We absolutely have. One of the things, though, that I pride myself on working in the RCIPS is that, you know, having met a lot of people from across the world, spoken to them about, you know, the various things that they face in their jurisdictions across the world, I must say that as a organization within the service in the Cayman Islands, although we do face our own unique challenges, it is certainly not as extreme as it is in various other places. So I definitely want to commend the men in our service for not being oppressive and...
Let's say they're inclusive.
They're very inclusive. Yes, they are very inclusive. And so I think that is important to highlight that.
But I absolutely agree with that. And, you know, going back to our male allies and the importance that people put on us being, as females, being involved in these networks. For instance, the commissioner funded all female staff and officers to become members of the International Association of Women in Police. And that opens up a load of benefits to them that they can, you know, if they need them, they can draw on that. That could be training, development, it could be networking, it could be, you know, finding that person that is going through the same difficulties as you, and having the confidence to reach out to them. So, you know, it really is a well-supported initiative, and I agree with Jodie Ann that, you know, I've been to conferences in various parts of the world that are focusing on these types of issues, and by far the Cayman Islands RCIPS are really far along in that sort of development of support and empowerment of female staff and officers. So it's really good.
So right now, Jodie Ann, you are the media officer.
Yes,
right?
I'm
You're
the police
leader
media
in your own right. It's basically a one-woman show.
Well, I work on a team. My team consists of the communication manager and a media liaison officer. But certainly, I am the most public-facing person, I would say, probably in the organization as a whole. Yeah. And yes, that does mean then that I am alone a lot of the time speaking with Miss Anita about various things involving the police. But in addition to that, I also do presentations, for instance, to the new recruits on, you know, social media etiquette now that you're a police officer, like things that you may want to consider in terms of your personal account, but also how to interact on social media as a police officer without being offensive or drawing attention to various things in the community, as well as how officers who arrive on the scene first, for instance, to a major incident, how they would interact with members of the media coming and approaching crime scenes and how to mitigate those circumstances. So that's one of the things that in my role I try to assist as best as possible.
Sounds like a lot of work for both of you.
It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. It's a very rewarding career.
Yeah, and it's so important. That interaction with the media is just so important. And I know during my career, I welcomed any briefing, instruction, assistance I could get from my media officers, because it's scary going out and doing briefings. And, you know, if you're not used to that sort of public speaking and interaction, certainly in times of crisis, which is when you're usually called upon to do that type of thing. So, you know, we lean on Jodie Ann and the rest of the team so much in terms of giving us that confidence, but also that keeping us on the right train.
She has to have all her ducks in a row.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
At all times.
Yes, I have certainly learned a lot about a lot of different units within policing during the time that I've been here as the police media officer, because you kind of have to mix and dabble a little bit to.
But mine's your favourite, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bureau of Financial Investigation.
Yes,
absolutely.
Definitely the best.
I can tell that. Now, share with us some of the some examples of women in leadership roles within the RCIPS.
Well, certainly with Miss Victoria Hare, we've already discussed her and her unit.
Right.
Our DCO is one of the most senior persons, Miss Nancy Barnard, Deputy Chief Officer for the Office of Commissioner of Police. And also we have two HR managers, a senior HR manager, Miss Alicia Miles, and a HR manager, Miss Tara O'Carroll. They head HR for the Office of the Commissioner of Police as well. We have Miss Donna Marie, and she is our Deputy Financial Controller, the lady with all the money.
All the money.
Yes.
She's my favourite.
Yes. And, of course, our Estates Manager is Miss Jodie Ann Moore, and she is excellent. She is... Anything you need and you go to Miss Jodie, she makes it happen.
She gets to spend
Not
money.
this Jodie.
So that's
Not this Jodie. And I get her emails on a daily basis. So, it's Jodie Ann Moore, Jodie with the Y.
Jodie with the Y.
And those are just, some examples. Like, we have Inspector Jalita Connolly, who now... works on the front line at Georgetown Police Station, formerly from the Eastern District. She has experience in traffic, a lot of experience with traffic, and she's an excellent critical incident manager, and as well as Inspector Dyer. Dyer Alexander, she's going to kill me.
Yeah.
She's going to kill me for mentioning her.
But she's included.
But she's the chief officer for the Commissioner of Police, and she literally gets everything done. And Detective Inspector Denise Anderson, she's in charge of our crime record management system. And she's the lady that you go to when you're having any issues where, stats or quality control is concerned, case management and that kind of thing. And new staff, we have new analysts. I don't remember the name of the lady on the second floor, Victoria. She's very, very new.
Isabel.
Yeah. And we have Emma. And there are
and Felicia
analysts.
as well in our intelligence unit.
Right. So we have women leaders and women staff all across the service, both administratively, investigatively, and just like persons in the background.
Sounds like you still have a 98% female RCIPS.
Yes, a lot of names, and I know that I probably would have forgotten, or not forgotten, but if I was to list everyone, it would take a lot of time. But I definitely want to just mention those women in particular, and thank them for their contribution to the service.
And again, I think it goes back to that different types of strengths. So, all these women are absolutely inspiring because they bring something else to the RCIPS, and they are definitely strengths. And it's really lovely to see and something like the Women in Policing Network, where everybody can get involved and everybody can use those role models as a guide and for their own development and mentoring. It's really great.
So for the future, how does the RCIPS plan to further enhance female leadership?
Well, I can't speak particularly about future plans that haven't taken place as yet. Yeah. But what I can say is that recently the Commissioner of Police, he launched his strategic policing plan for the next 3 years, so 2024 into 2026. And one of his goals is to improve public confidence in the police as well as to modernize our police service. And a part of those goals is ensuring that we are an accountable, caring, and collaborative service. And in order to achieve that, one of the things that we have to do is invest in our resources, especially our human resources, and whether that mean new hires or developing the staff that we already have to make sure that we are fit for purpose for the different threats and the developing threats that are affecting the Cayman Islands. So, and that plan is published on our website. Okay. So if you do want to have a look at it, it's there for everyone to see.
So how does the RCIPS celebrate its female staff?
Well, we often have awards, but one of the things that I want to say is that the goal is not to reward female staff or to separate ourselves from anyone or from our male counterparts. It's to make sure that we have equal and equitable opportunities within the service. So it's not about rewarding, it's more about development and inspiring and empowering.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think Jodie's exactly right. And it's, we want to be inclusive. We recognise that female staff and female officers have some other considerations, and what we don't want to do is make that prohibitive for them to join our service or contribute in exactly the way that they want to contribute and develop. So things like, having flexible working arrangements. So if you're a caregiver, things like having job sharing, having a look at parental leave as opposed to just maternity leave. So in that way, we can ensure that we are inclusive, but we still have that sort of equity and equality. So again, our male allies are very quick to support us and to celebrate us. They, I think, probably realise that they need our strengths.
Yeah.
And we've got facets that perhaps they don't have. So it's really just continuing to celebrate everybody and have a really, really good service going forward.
Well, listening to both of you, I'm inspired. And
That's good.
I pretty much know why both of you were inspired to work in law enforcement. That's another show, but I won't be here. So
are you inspired? I was just about to ask you if you're inspired to stay on the buzz.
Or to join the RCIPS. There's plenty of room.
We're out of time.
Can't give the answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. And of course, you, Jodie-Ann, PC Jodie-Ann Powery, Police Media Officer in the Media and Communications Unit of the RCIPS, and Special Inspector Victoria Templeman. It's always good to hear the two of you. Victoria is the head of the Cayman Islands Bureau of Financial Investigations, which is also within the RCIPS. And we wish you well with the Women in Policing Network, WIPN. Wish you all the success in the world and setting a great example for other police services around the world.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the radio with you, sharing about the police for a number of years now, Miss Anita. Because you took over from Minister Turner once she was appointed, and I understand that this is quite a challenging task to pick up and do every day, especially
twice per week.
Yeah. Oh, okay, twice per week. I was trying to embellish here a little bit for you.
You're allowed.
But yeah, we understand that it's challenging, and especially with the fact that you have other roles and responsibilities.
Oh no, I love this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I'm sad to see you go. But
maybe you'll be back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I'll come and visit.
Okay. Well, thank you both. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the March month madness. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cuban Insurance Center and Ruland's Real Estate. Thanks to Silver Fox for holding it down. And of course, thank you to our listeners, our YouTube viewers, and the producer of The Buzz, Miss Susan Watson. Until Tuesday, March 19th, when we see you for another Business Buzz. In the meantime, please stay safe. And from me, your host, Anita Khan, goodbye.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
Also brought to you by Rulins. For your important real estate decisions, contact Rulins today at 938-1000 or info@rhulens.com.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.